Okay, so these are videos to help you with keeping in touch with the content of the course. We're going to see everything in more details during the course, but this is a bit of a refresher to help you. So this is going to be the front wrap cross carry, which is the front carry that's most used in the UK as a beginner carry. Pros are it's fairly straightforward, and you can be a bit more approximative with the way you tighten it and still get a decent result. Cons are it's a bit lower, and that's it really. Okay, so we're going to start with the middle marker on our chest. The whole carry is a horizontal pass or wrap pass, then across onto our back and across onto our front. And if you're using a middle size wrap, you can knot it there. If you're using a longer wrap, you cross under the legs and then you go and tie it at the back. So I'm using a size 6 here, which is 4.6 meters, which is quite a long wrap. And I'm going to start with doing the wrap pass. You can bunch up all the fabric, or only half, or all of it, depending or none of it, depending on what you want. You'll be able to do anything, whichever way you start. So do a way you're confident with, and know that you can do it a different way if it helps with something. And then we're going to cross. There are loads of variations on how to cross, and these will be covered during the course. So I'm going to cross just a simple way like this, and I come and find the other side, and I'm going to slide my hands, only holding onto the top rail enough for a bit of slack, so I don't feel like a sausage when I lift it up. And then I'm going to drop my elbows in front of the fabric and use my arms and go upwards. Okay, and with my hands I put all the fabric onto my shoulders. Okay, you can already make sure your top rail is close to your neck and your bottom rail is furthest away, same on the other side. Okay, when you're in a rush, this is a good starting point. You can also prepare the front wrap pass a bit more to start with. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to tighten the bottom a bit more because it's currently on my hips and I want it to be just under my rib cage. So I'll do that, and as you can see there's a lot of slack that's stuck here. So I'm going to pull upwards like this, and then it's a bit closer to my chest. There's still space, you know, it could move, but it's a bit closer. And from that point you go and find your baby, making sure all of the wrap is above the shoulder. Okay, that's one of the big mistakes that happens. Okay, so I get my baby, and we're going to cover in the course more in details about how to handle a baby and a doll, so always be careful on how to do it. If you're holding like a branch under the base, the baby is a bit more active and it makes the whole positioning easier, especially with all the front carries. So, but again, we'll talk a bit more about this in the course. So, bringing support over here, leaning slightly back, my hand comes under the patch and comes and find the legs, finding the one that's furthest away from the hand, so the opposite side, because this one's easy to reach, that one is harder. So reaching that, making sure the fabric goes around the feet, and this hand now replaces the arm to hold the baby. Okay, so we're going to bring this here. Now that we've swapped hands, holding under the base of our baby, we're going to be able to spread the wrap pass with our hand. So we come and find it, and we're going to go around. So that's why you didn't want it too tight, so you can easily go around like so. Okay, now how high do you pull the fabric? With a toddler, just at neck level, nape of the neck would be absolutely fine, and then if they bring their arms out, it's fine, the fabric bunches up and it's secure. With the younger one, we're going to go slightly above, and then we're sure there's not too much tension on the neck. Okay. Now we need to get this hand out of the wrap, and we're going to tuck the fabric. So we're going to swap hands. So this hand now holds our baby under the base, and we're going to tuck the fabric. So the hand here is just to make sure our baby doesn't lean forward away from us, and we're going to tuck it from one knee to the other knee. Okay, and now we can start tightening. Still only holding under the base. Now the wrap, which is slightly snug, not to adjust it yet. The snug is enough so that baby doesn't flop out. So it should already be enough to just hold under the base of the baby. And now we're going to tighten it. And again, during the course we're going to see loads of different ways of tightening a wrap. So here I'm going to show you with the strand by strand method on this side. So we're going to start with the top. This carry is held by the top rail. So by tightening the top first, you will already make baby a lot more secure and held. Okay, so here I'm going to hold a whole handful of the wrap at the top, and I'm going to pull back from me, whilst the other arm just raises slightly so the fabric can slide here under my armpit. Okay, and so back with my arm raised. If I'm quite a lean person, if you've got someone who's a bit more chunky than me, you might find that the fabric gets stuck. So by helping it with your hand, just all the way to the back, then it's easier to get it all out. And you can pull back. Okay, so once we've got that top tightened, we have loads of different ways to tighten, and again we'll see that during the course. And I'm going to bring this into the knee pit, under the bum, and I'm going to hold it with the other hand. So that this hand holds the tension and holds the bum. Okay? And now, about 10 centimeters away, I'm going to grab from my back and upwards, still raising my arm ever so slightly on the other side, but not so much now. And I'm going to bring all that tension into my other hand. And the same with the other side. Okay? There we are. And in the knee pit. Okay, so now we've tightened this one side of the wrap, so the opposite side to the shoulder you're working on. And now we can keep the tension and hold on with the other hand. Now for the other side, I'm going to show you a quicker way of doing things, where you just grab most of your wrap as a whole and shrug your shoulders and shrug your back. Okay, and then adjust where it needs adjusted. This is a lot quicker, but not as precise. So depending on the type of person you're talking to, one will be easier to show than the other. So I've done all of it as a whole, and then I can see that my top is still loose, and that's what holds the carry. So I want to make sure I still give a good tightening here. Okay. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're going to go here. If you want to spread things more onto your back, you can do it manually, or you can walk your hands on the fabric. So here I'm going to grab closer to the neck and bring that across, still holding the tension, and the other hand. And then I'm going to be over here, and then I can spread it neatly onto my back. Okay. Because we have the deep seat here, there's nothing to worry about. If the person you're working with is not comfortable doing it, it's probably because the position is not correct. So you might not want to move forward to the next step. Anyway, that's another thing we'll discuss during the course, is how do you handle when someone is struggling to follow the instructions you're giving, and what you can do about it. Okay, so now we're going to go in the knee pits, and we're going to cross here. Okay, and put both in one hand, still holding the tension. So, a common mistake is crossing under the bum or under the thigh. To hold the tension, you need to be in the knee pits, as it's the highest point you will go back into it. So, whilst you're here, if you have a very, very young baby, still very bunched up, you might want to just twist down to keep the tension and go around and tighten. If you're with a bigger baby, you're going to cross. So to cross, we're going to make sure we're still nice and tight. We're going to go under the feet, and whilst we're here, because it's a bigger child, it can take a bit of vibration, so we're going to bounce slightly and pull, and that will make sure it's nice and secure. And then we're going to go to the back and tie our knots. Okay, always a double knot, double secure knot. So flat reef knot is one, or just a simple double knot, and we'll discuss these as well during the course. Okay. Okay. So 3 steps. First step, we have now got our baby nice and secure. Second step is to check safety aspect and position and comfort for the baby. So that means the curved back, you can see here, that both legs are at the same place, that it's crossing well in the knee pit and not halfway through the leg. That is still balanced. You can lean slightly forward and holding the baby to make sure it's all jiggled in. So now baby's nice and comfortable. We're going to look after our comfort as a wearer. So we can spread these pieces a bit more onto our back, and we can spread these because everything is held by the top rail again. Okay, so we're going to open this up until it's nice and flat. Okay, so now it's nice and flat on my shoulder. You can see the slack here does not change the position of the baby. Okay, and then we're going to refold this so I can still use my arms. And when you refold, make sure to go over the shoulder so it holds it into place. Okay, and you can cover, making sure it stays in the knee pit. Okay, and the same on the other side. And here to help me, I just jiggle my shoulder. Okay, and you can even put your hand underneath to help. Because that's the one underneath, it's always harder to spread it out. So you can go with your fingers if you're flexible enough. If not, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to bring this back up, and again making sure it's over the shoulder. And there we have it. Okay, if you find you still have too much slack, you can take it all the way through, and that's again something we'll talk about during the course. And if you want to spread, which in the UK most people want to, although it doesn't bring that much extra support, always do it from the outer rail, so that your inner rail, which is holding the tension and the mechanics of the knot, do not make it fall apart. Okay, and you can lift your baby and try to grab some slack from your back to make it happen if you want to cross. Okay, there you go. Same on the other side, getting some slack, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that you can reopen and close it again with no problem. And that's it. This is the front wrap cross carry. Okay, could still do that a bit more.